Hello, I'm Mason Brightmore at the Pennant Hills Museum, and a question has come up in recent times surrounding how important the Olympic Games were at their height. Now this is a very difficult question to answer, as the Games only ended when Theodosius I took over Greece under Roman control, changed the religion and banned the Games altogether. But to fully understand the question and how to answer it, we need to take you back to the very start of the Olympics. The ancient Olympic Games was the gathering of the most elite athletes from all over Greece to test their abilities in physical, mental and spiritual tests. The Games can be assumed to have been most popular around 400 BCE, with a population of 10 to 13 million people in the Greece general vicinity, although this is only a guess as they didn't take censuses, and with 40 to 50,000 people attending the event at this time. Many sources believe that the ancient Olympic Games had been going on for many years before the first recorded victory. This was Coroebus of Elis in 776 BCE who won a foot race, and because of this, every victory has been recorded since. It is unknown whether this was truly the first Olympic event that happened, or if there were predecessors to it and this was the first one they decided to record down, although it's more than likely that this was the first one, as competition was highly regarded in Greek society, and winning an event in honour of Zeus would be something that they would have wanted kept records of. The other more interesting origin to the Games involves Zeus's son Hercules and a human woman, Alcmene. This particular origin of the Olympics is very unlikely, as there is no physical evidence apart from those that have been made by humans about Zeus's existence, and thus his son would have been very unlikely to have originated the Games, as it is hard to understand if he was truly real. Furthermore, it is highly unrealistic that a woman assisted in starting the Games and then having all non-virgin women unable to even attend the Games and all women together unable to even participate in the Games, thus making it more likely that Coroebus from Elis was the original starting of the Olympic Games. Its significance is also questioned in the attendance numbers, as in 400 BCE, when the population in the general area was highest at 10 to 13 million, the maximum amount of people that could attend or did attend the Games was 50,000 people. Because of this, we can assume that that time was when the Games were most popular, and by using those numbers, we can see that the Games only had 0.38 to 0.5% of the population attending them. And for something that would be so significant, those are pretty small numbers. For the 2016 Rio Olympics, they set an all-time high with 3.6 billion people watching the Games. That's 48% of today's population of 7.5 billion. Now, comparing this to the attendance rates at the game, only 7.5 million people attended, and compared to the 7.5 billion that attended, that's only 0.1% of the population. So it's safe to assume that based on the way that the numbers work, the Games' attendance was more popular during the ancient times. Although word of mouth may have led to more people knowing about the Games, so it's hard to compare how much of their society really knew and cared about the Games. But compared to the overall viewers of today's Games, it is safe to assume that they are not nearly as significant as today's Games are. Undoubtedly, the greatest reason for the significance of the ancient Olympic Games was their cultural background. They were made to honour Zeus, the god, the king of the gods. He was in control of the weather, the omens, the signs. He was the final say in all judgment. If something was going down, it was his choice as to how it ended. To say the least, the Games' inception as a way to honour Zeus shows how significant they really were. Zeus was the big god for them, and an event that lasts 1,000 years just in honour of Zeus, that's really significant. Furthermore, during the Games, after the events, and on the third day, 100 oxen were sacrificed in honour of Zeus himself. These oxen had their legs burned and their long bones as well. The Greeks believed that the smoke and other cinders that would rise up into the sky would go into the heavens and be for Zeus as a feast for him, and in return the smoke would show omens and signs. Now, it's important to understand that oxen were rare and they were hard-working animals for Greek society. So sacrificing 100 of them every 4 years, that took a big toll on their supplies. And also, at the end of the Olympics, there was a 6-meter high pile of their ashes and their bones, just because of how many times they had been sacrificed. Oxen also weren't generally sacrificed as much as other animals and were only used for significant events such as the Olympic Games, showing how much the games truly meant if they were to sacrifice 100 oxen, 100 of their rare animals every 4 years for a god. The oxen show how significant Zeus was to the society and how important the games were as a result of him. A pile of their bones and ashes was 6 meters tall, and this had been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. Every 4 years they would sacrifice 100 more oxen just in honor of Zeus. The significance of the Olympic Games to ancient Greece is something that is truly hard to argue against, but compared to today's games, they don't really seem that big. The cultural significance was high, and the political significance that followed because of the originating of the games was just as high. But those don't really matter to us today. The same effects from the games that originated them don't carry on to today's game. So that's the question that we're left with. Why don't the Olympic Games matter the same way that they did then? Why were they significant in so many different ways than they are now? Do we just have a different view on religion? Are the games taken differently, in a different light? Do we just not want to sacrifice 100 oxen? Take this. Answer the question yourself. How significant do you feel the Olympic Games were? Thank you.